Hi everybody, Jennifer Blevins-Smith with Integral Clinic Solutions, and you're watching my YouTube channel, Navigating the Business of Medicine. Today I want to talk about insurance company audits. This is a kind of taboo topic for many providers, especially providers who own their own practice, because when you talk about an insurance audit, everybody kind of winces and their stomachs turn and they get really nervous and they get frustrated. And I want to let you know that I have been through many insurance audits in the past, and it's not always a negative thing. Just because an insurance company is auditing you, it does not mean you're necessarily doing anything wrong. I always tell the providers I work with, it's not if you get audited, it's when you get audited. And there's a lot of different reasons that you might be chosen, per se, in their system. Some of those examples might be that you are billing higher amount of claims in your specialty compared to other providers in your specialty, and so it flags and says, whoa, this person has a high volume of patients, and in their eyes they're like, oh, we need to check into this and just make sure they're doing everything correctly. Another reason might be that you're billing out more certain levels of CPT codes than your colleagues in the same field. So they might say, whoa, you're billing out way more 99215s or 99214s than your peers, and this is causing some red flags in our system, and so we need to check this out. They might see that you're performing certain services that aren't as common in your specialty or in your field. It might be something that you are specialized in and that you focus on for patients, and they're not aware of that. And so it doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong, they just want to make sure that you're doing it right. Another thing might be incorrect use of modifiers or an increased amount use of modifiers. I mean, there's so many things, and basically it's the computer telling them that there might be an issue or some kind of algorithm that they've built into their system that's flagging your account and warranting them to investigate further. Now, if you are someone who gets nervous about this because you don't feel like you're doing everything correctly, then you should be nervous. But if you are doing things the way you're supposed to, if you're not overcoding, if you're making sure you're documenting everything that you do, that it's accurate, it's true, then you're gonna be okay. And most likely, if they do find something that's wrong, they are just going to let you know you can't do this, you have to change this, and slap you on the hand kind of and say, you know, moving forward, this is what we found, we need you to change this. And you just go, oh, I wasn't aware, or okay, that totally makes sense, I apologize, and you move forward. They might monitor your account for a certain amount of time to make sure you don't continue to do it, but other than that, usually it's not a huge deal. Nobody is perfect. They will probably find something really petty or stupid, something that, you know, is easy to fix, but it's okay. The important thing about insurance audits is, one, that you have somebody in your office other than yourself, if you're the provider, who can help be the liaison between your office and the insurance company. A strong manager, a strong biller or coder, someone who understands the process, understands the clinic side and the billing coding side. It needs to be somebody who understands your processes internally, because they're going to be the ones that maybe this insurance representative will go to ask further questions once they review these chart notes. You also need to make sure that you have strong, healthy, good habits in place from the get-go, that all your providers are very good at documenting everything in detail in their chart notes, that you are not over-coding anything like up-coding or down-coding, that you are truly just basing your charges on what was done at face value. You're not trying to, quote, get away with anything. You need to make sure that if anything is changed on a claim and it needs to be resubmitted, whether an incorrect CPT code was used, an incorrect diagnosis code was used, you added any kind of information to a claim, that it's appropriately documented in an addendum to that chart note. You don't go into the chart note and change what you originally documented. That's a huge no-no. You want to make sure that you have it documented elsewhere, like as an addendum, like I said, that says that something was brought to your attention, you realized it was incorrect, so you corrected it in this way and describe how you did that, and you resubmitted the claim. That way there's a whole paper trail and explanation of what happened, so someone doesn't come back and go, okay, you billed for a 99212, but then it came back with an incorrect diagnosis code and you sent it back with a 99213. Like, what's going on here? That will throw some red flags, right? So that's another reason you could be audited. If you keep resubmitting claims that are not consistent with the changes that should be going on, or that you keep getting denied claims because something isn't correct, that will flag you in a system. So you need to make sure, one, you have a strong biller coder that's making sure these claims are going out appropriately. Your providers and your back office clinical staff are documenting everything, including your MAs or nurses with their injections and any kind of tests that they're doing, point of care, and making sure lot numbers are documented and location, sites of administration. I mean, when you get audited, you do open yourself up to all of this. They are going to scrutinize how you're documenting everything. So if you don't have that patient safety data in there, if you don't have the reason why you ordered a certain test in there to justify why you ordered it, all of those reasons, they're gonna get upset with you, and that is rightfully so. I know the administrative burden is really high in healthcare right now, especially for private practices, because you can only hire so many people and ask people to do so much. But that does not mean you should cut corners in the places where you can get in big trouble. Remember, insurance companies are the ones that pay you, that pay your bills, that pay your staff, that keep you going. And you need to make sure that you're doing things the way that you're supposed to and correctly. You can't use the excuse, they're not gonna listen to you if you use the excuse of, oh, it's too much, it takes too much time, I don't have enough people, I don't have enough staff. They don't care. So set yourself up with good habits, good practices for all your staff in the office. Make sure you hire people who are capable in their roles and understand that they need to do things the correct way. And you should be doing some internal audits throughout the year, whether it's your manager, your lead biller. Someone should be grabbing some of those chart notes randomly, checking how the documentation is, then checking the claims and making sure they're billed out correctly for that chart note and that everything matches. That way you have peace of mind, and it's just a good idea to do some internal QA, QC auditing to make sure that everything is right. Another important thing is go to conferences for billing and coding. Go to things to be up on what changes are going on, and if you need to adapt any changes going on in healthcare that will affect your practice. If you've ever been through an audit, whether you're an office manager, a billing manager, or a provider, if you could leave your experience in the comments, that would be wonderful and appreciated, because a lot of people who haven't been through it, it kind of terrifies them and they try to avoid audits at all costs, and sometimes by avoiding it, sometimes they flag the system. So just make sure that you explain your situation, and hopefully it wasn't negative and people will get a little bit of more comfort knowing that it's not always a bad thing or a bad outcome. If you have any questions or comments about this, please leave that in the comments below. Smash the thumbs up button if today's video was helpful, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.